This module was all about the data. We described how a client-side Angular application retrieves data from a web server using a URL. We looked at two built-in Angular services, $HTTP and $resource. Both of these services provide communication with a web server from an Angular application. We selected to use $resource, as it provides a higher level of abstraction for accessing data. We then built a common services module and defined a product resource custom service within that module. The product resource service is our reusable data access component. We then modified the controller to call the query method of the product resource service to retrieve the data. But since we did not build a back-end web server to process the request, we were not getting any data. We instead built a product resource mock module using $HTT backend to intercept the request to the web server and provide some mock data for the application. We now have data, even without the web service. When we have a real back-end web service, we can simply remove the product resource mock dependency, and the application will instead use the back-end web service. So our application is web service ready. Looking back at the set of tasks we identified earlier for building a line of business application, we now have code that retrieves and saves data. Though we still have hard-coded mock data, the application is now set up to access real data from a back-end web service. When the back-end web service is in place, we simply remove the mocking dependency, and the application will call the back-end web service. Now that we have data, let's add some additional views of that data and the navigation between those views.